for whatever reason the video stops. I don't know why. Um, I have no clue why. I apologize for that. Maybe part two. I usually don't do part two. Then when I edit, I notice that there's a difference in the stream, and I don't like it. For example, I was doing this a lot. So the tower, that's nothing to do with the Spartan. I'm sorry about this. Not me being unfocused, but this. You can see that I'm recording. If you look here, you can see that I'm recording. Now, it does take a lot of place, you would say, and you're right. So what I would do is I would go in the editor and fuse the video together and make them 2 times the speed. That way I would get 2 times the content for the same amount of space. And it was fucking up every single one of my videos. So if I put the two videos together, I'm gonna fuck up the videos. I apologize for that. I'm truly sorry. And it doesn't happen often, so I feel like I get a pass, I guess. But yeah, so 300, what a fucking movie. From the gore to the actor. If you look at Jared Butler, what was his first movie that you saw him in? Most of you guys are gonna say 300. Now, don't get me wrong, I think Jared Butler is super fucking talented. But if it wasn't for 300, who would know the guy? See, I don't want to be a dick. I don't want to be a dick. But you're gonna tell me there's no father figure with a beard in Hollywood? Oh, you want a brown beard? Okay, there's 1,000 of them. What made Jared Butler special was because he was fucking Leonidas. The first movie was said to be small budget when it was CGI. It's not necessarily the story. The story is good, don't get me wrong, but it's the tale. So the whole movie you're being told the story, you're seeing the story, and then you realize that no, you're not seeing the story, you're being told the story. It is completely different. You're being told the story by one of the soldiers that was there on the field, and then you realize that it does feel like a tale. It does feel fantastic how 300 people face 10,000 people. It's such a beautiful movie because again, it taught me one simple thing, which is the time where they're almost surrounded, but they go in a corridor, and in that corridor, doesn't matter the number. In the corridor, their number doesn't matter. Sorry, I'm repeating myself, but I'm trying to figure out how to point that out. Okay, let's do this. Got the two here, right? You have my hand that passes here. Oh no, never mind. You got this that passes here, right? Doesn't matter if you're 10,000, this passes. And if you do this, instead if you do this, and this passes, that's a lot more of an army. See, the number didn't matter. And that was something that was insane to me when I was watching. I remember when I was a kid, watching Asterix and Obelix. And they had this formation called the turtle, where they put shield on top of each, on the top and on the sides. And to me, that was phenomenal. It was the strategy, and we kind of forget because now we have the guns, we have tanks. Who gives a shit? But again, 300 was that. It was more than reality. It was warriors. There's so many moments in that movie that truly touches me. For example, the fact that the fact that he goes to he goes to another army because another army are attacking, and there's very few people that are resisting because again the enemy has 10,000 forces, and most of the people don't have forces. And then there's another army that comes to join the Spartan, which is again the group that Leonidas brings on. Oh, 100 years of Warner Bros. That's cool. So yeah, so. And long story short, he brings more people, and he's like, "How many soldiers did you bring?" Leonidas asked the other king, "How many soldiers did you bring?" And the other soldier is like, "What do you mean?" The other king said, "What do you mean?" And then Leonidas pointed at a guy and said, "Hey, what's your job?" The guy said, I'm a fucking mason." The other guy said, "What is your job?" "Oh, I'm a pottery maker." "What's your job?" "I'm a gardener." And then he turns around and said, "Spartans, what are your profession?" And they say, "Ahu, ahu." And it was a culture out of it. It was working together for a better thing. See, a lot of people mistake the fact that those people follow Leonidas was an amazing character, first of all. A lot of people are wrong in thinking that Leonidas group was just a fan of battle. They were bored. And there's a lot of sign in the movie that says, hey, they're bored, they want to fight because they're excited about the battle and they love to fight. But there's more than that. There's Leonidas that was respected by his country. It was giving a choice. It was giving a choice of peace. and he didn't choose it because he knew what was going on with his wife. He knew that they were gonna get a lower treatment. He said, "I'm selling." So basically, again, the group of the army of 10,000, they're coming into place. I haven't seen the movie in a while, so it's a bit confused. But they're coming to see Sparta and they say, "Hey, all we want in exchange for peace is water and earth." But the guy brings heads just to intimidate Leonidas. And then he said, "I'm not gonna give you." And then he surrounds the guy, and there's this very famous meme where he says, the messengers say he's been surrounded because again, Leonidas know right away that he's gonna sell the Sparta. He's selling Sparta to slavery. He's slaving Sparta to live under the ruler, and it's not so much that he likes being a ruler. He loves Sparta enough to defend it, not against the enemy, but from within. And then there's another part where again they surround the messenger. The messenger's like, "You crazy? We're 10,000. What you gonna do? This is madness." And Leonidas said, "Madness? This is Sparta." And it's funny because when I'm gonna get 300 followers on YouTube, I'm gonna do a 10 hours review of the Song of 300. When I got 300 followers on Instagram, I did the 300. When I got 300 followers on TikTok, I did the 300. It was again the movie in itself. It was the fact that this is simply a man. He didn't feel like a king. He felt like a Spartan. Now, admittedly, I have a small weakness for this movie. I have a foot in. I'm a sellout when it comes to Spartans. And again, I didn't know the Spartan in itself, but I grew up playing God of War, and if you know God of War, you know that Kratos is from Sparta, and I love Kratos. So I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. But again, apart from these two, you don't really know. Then they came out with the movie 300, the before the war, which was okay. But that first movie was just phenomenal, just phenomenal. And my favorite part is how Leonidas is smart. He's so fucking smart, dude. You see, so the babies in Sparta, the babies that were deformed were thrown away. They were killed because they wanted a perfect warrior. And so in the movie, right? And it's funny because if you look at the movie is so deep. It takes more than one watch to understand. In the movie, he takes the messenger and he knows that, dude, we're gonna get killed. We have to go to war with these people, and they have to go to the oracle. The oracle are people that talk to the god, and the god are gonna tell them, "Hey, you can go to war or not." So now the oracle are sellout and they sold Sparta for cash. Long story short, that's what happened. And then you have the other, if you will, option where they can sell out Sparta, and they said, "Well, this is a flawed system because Leonidas kind of knows that they're being sell out." Now, at the end, not at the end, but near the beginning, we see one of the guy, right, and that guy, he ends up being a traitor. He ends up being a traitor because again, he is deformed, and he was a Spartan. He was deformed. So Leonidas understand that a flawed system, and then at the end, the guy that was messed up betrayed Sparta because again they pushed him away because of his deformity. They didn't even give him a chance. And at the end, you see Leonidas and say, "Hey, I betrayed you." He didn't say I betrayed you, but Leonidas know he betrayed him. And Leonidas forgive him because he understands that Sparta isn't okay. 300 is such a beautiful, beautiful fucking movie. It feels surreal. It feels real. There's so much behind. At the very core, it's gory, it's action. But when you look at it, it's just a dude doing something for his country. That's it. Anywho, that's the video. Love you guys. Peace.